Hey, WokeNFree Nation, Newsly is an audio app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice.
For the first time in the history of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling, start listening.
You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, science to Bitcoin, or even one of your favorite celebrities. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud.
And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, WokeNFree, is there too.
Now let's get into the episode. Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 322nd episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing's off the table. This week's episode is entitled, just wait for it, Entanglement, Enigma, Unraveling Jada's Relationship, Quagmire. So...
I like how you said that last word. Quag. That's good.
So just a pause just to enjoy that moment. Before we move forward with the episode, there's a couple of things to cover. First, have you gone to WokeNFree.com not only to listen to this episode, thank you, but also to download it through the Podbean app. If you don't have the app, then you can put in your comments and your questions. And we know you have thoughts about Jada, and we know you have thoughts about Will, and we know you have thoughts about their relationship Quagmire. So whatever that may mean, stay tuned to find out. So please do that. Now, if you listen to podcasts on a device where you can't put another app like the Podbean app on it, that's a little bit sad, but fret not. You still can support us by going to WokeNFree.com, go in the listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you will support us. So you'll find the show where most podcasts are consumed. We are on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. It's a WokeNFree world. You want us, we are there. Now, also on WokeNFree.com through the Podbean app, you can click to subscribe to follow the show, which is really great. And then on social, everyone to follow along on our social media conversations. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And if you have 90 seconds, which is more of a statement, less of a question, we'd love for you to review the show. Why? Because it gives us the insight and the wisdom to know how the show's feeding into your life. And that really matters. So make sure you go to WokeNFree.com, go in the listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you'll review the show. Kicking it to you now, Khalil.
Well, before starting the conversation on the Quagmire, we would like to share a little bit about ourselves. This week, we are asking, would you rather view the world as a stage or a playground?
So not our own Quagmire.
That would have been too close to home.
True. We can't be too WokeNFree, right? Yeah, exactly.
Not on this episode. It has to get its own episode.
Facts. Yeah, okay. So that's a really interesting question. I hope it was AI generated. And
I don't know where the ether gets its information from.
You don't know where the ether is getting it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Not sure.
So source is indicating to me that maybe you've devised this question, but we'll see.
Source indicates wrong.
Source indicates wrong, guys.
Yeah,
source get it together.
Exactly. Yep.
I would view the world as a stage because of who my personality is, and a playground seems more intimidating and frustrating to me just because it kind of reminds me of traumatizing childhood memories of, being by my lonesome in a space with a lot of people running around and no one talking to me and all that kind of nonsense. So I would rather view the world as a stage, as an opportunity to shine and share my diatribe about life, about the journey of life and all of that. How about you?
Well, for me, I think of it as a playground because, and I know that you say life is performative, but for me, I try to get the fun out of life. So
all day long
on playground, I think you're supposed to have more fun than perform. I mean, it's not
Depends
about that.
on your perspective, I guess.
So, to me, I think I view the world as the playground. I
think Will views it as a stage. And
definitely
views it as a playground.
Yes, and that's how you can see it coming from different points of
depends on
views.
your personality and where you fit in the world, I think.
I mean, that's truly the enigma. Is it a stage or a playground? The world may never know, right?
Yes.
Well, what's the enigma with Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith?
Absolutely. So recently, Jada revealed that she and Will Smith have been separated since 2016, effectively divorced in reality, just not legally speaking. However, what was most, I think, shocking about that revelation is that as we've seen Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith in the public eye, just the public eye, because, you know, most folks are not personal friends of them, right? I think that's a privilege if you happen to be in their close network. But, most folks would presume, based on what we've seen publicly on the red carpet, when they've done the red table talk, things like that, where they were presenting as a unified front, as a family. And it seems like it just was a more complex scene behind closed doors, which is absolutely fine. It just was shocking, I think, to the average bear, because people were like, what? Like, that's really happening? That's so interesting. Not to mention recent years, the previous entanglement scandal that happened with August Alsina, that was revealed and discussed on the Red Table Talk.
Yeah.
Well, not revealed. It was more elaborated upon on Red Table Talk.
So it's just interesting. It's kind of like information just has been dripping out over time.
Yes, it's definitely been a drip campaign for sure.
It hasn't been just all straightforward. Like, here's where we're at right now, and that's we haven't. It's been like slowly over time,
and it's been in conjunction with her upcoming memoir. Shout out to her writing her book called Worthy, I believe, which is I can't wait to read it. I have a lot on my deck, so that's 2024 reading, but looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I actually want to jump through this timeline that Business Insider created, because I think it kind of clears, or it just gives people a good picture of what's been going on, especially if you haven't been following this and you know nothing about it. Maybe,
that's great.
Maybe you know nothing of what's happened. So let's take a look at this timeline that they created for the famous black couple. On August 2015, Will Smith, he first shuts down rumors that he and Pinkett Smith are getting a divorce.
Fascinating.
Then 2016, this didn't come out yet, but this is about the most recent thing. Smith and Pinkett, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, they quietly separate. So that's what she recently released. But this was not disclosed though, not disclosed. Gotcha. Then in 2017, August is interviewed by Pinkett Smith and opens up about his liver disease. Now in July 2018, August appears on the Red Table Talk. So I guess a year later, I don't know if that's when she got her show. Maybe she didn't have it in 2017 because it just said she interviewed him. So it might have not been on the Red Table Talk because he appeared later next year. And then October 2018, Pinkett and Will, they reveal they once had a major fight and briefly separated from each other. And see, that's kind of interesting. See, look how that is. That's a little untelling because so in 2018 you briefly separated, even though you were already fully separated. Exactly. By that time. Like,
so I guess they were more aligned with trying to disclose their reality.
It was kind of like giving you kind of information.
Yeah, but they also were probably trying to figure it out, that which, you know, not everyone is privy to the journey of what a relationship is a journey. You know, it's a lot.
Okay. And then March 2019, August releases a music video for Nunya, and people believe it's about Pinkett Smith.
You're a mess.
I guess, or maybe it's Nunya, like Nunya Business kind of thing. That's what I guess that is. Exactly. I don't know his music, so, you know.
You're a mess.
June 2020, August says he had Smith's blessing to date Pinkett Smith.
Lies and fairy tales.
But technically they're separated, right? They're still.
Well, why I don't like that statement is no one can give the blessing to date her other than her, and she's talked about that too, like on the Red Table Talk. If she wanted to have entanglements, the only permission that was needed was from her. She can consent to how her body is used or not used. He can't consent to that.
Well, technically, he can't. No, none of that. But it's. I guess the thought is if someone's married and you don't know what type of relationship it is, you want to ask the partner, hey, is that okay that your person's dating?
But again, it's like that needed to be phrased or directed to her, and she can decide how that works.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I just don't like that. I think it's a very condescending statement.
So even in that same month, the next
later
part.
Then.
All right, so then on July 2020, Jada says she had a relationship with August during a breakup with Smith. So again, these breakups that you were already separated. But maybe even they didn't know what it was at the time too. It was hard to describe it, right? They were like, well,
they have kids. It's a lot.
Because you know, I guess when you reflect and you look back on life, you're like, yeah, actually, we were separated then. We weren't together. Like we only saw each other once. Like I don't know what it was, but however, so often. So maybe that's what it is as well. And then same month, August responds to Jada on her Red Table Talk revelation. Then again, the same month, August releases a song called Entanglements. I didn't know he did that. That's interesting. He did that. I didn't realize that. September 2021, Will says he and Jada were not always monogamous. Here we go again. Some more stuff coming up.
Get it.
March 2022, Will Smith says there was never any infidelity in his marriage, which is true.
Well, yeah, that's true. If
it's a true statement. See, look at all these
different
clues.
Dance partners, then sure.
Look at all these clues that were dropped that were leading up to it now with that kind of thing. April 2022, August releases another song referencing Jada again. Then October 2023, Jada confirms she and Will have been separated since 2016. So that's the big reveal is October.
Yeah.
And then again, same month, Jada reiterates that she did not cheat on Will Smith.
This is a shame that somebody put this timeline together, too. It's a real shame.
It's good, though.
This is news.
I know. It's interesting. Someone's relationship
news. That's news. Breaking news.
But what's funny is that this was on Business Insider.
I know. That's a real hot mess.
I bet you it's
this
business.
This is business news?
I bet you it's business. None of your business.
Okay. Exactly.
That's good. Do people perceive the situation as Jada sharing too much? Would people respond the same? Do you think if they both were sharing instead of just her?
Ooh, interesting. So there has been some rhetoric around like what does oversharing look like when it comes to relationships, and I would say that I believe that oversharing is going to be defined by the couple or the person that's involved in the share. And for my opinion, I don't think that Jada's sharing too much. I think that she is entitled to share her story. And if she's sharing it, I would hope that she's consenting to whatever that share looks like and whatever that is being revealed to society. However, I will acknowledge that what one person constitutes as a share or overshare is going to be different than how the world receives it. So based on what I've been seeing on social media and in articles, it seems like people are in disagreement with how much they feel like she's sharing, and they are viewing it as the emasculation of Will Smith, with which I disagree with, and I also think that it's her story. And to be frank, if you never want people to include you in their personal life story, then that means you have to shift and orient how you live differently. Because when you're in a relationship, that doesn't mean that the person you're in a relationship is precluded from discussing you and their life story. Unless there's some type of NDA that is signed, or there's some type of legal agreement where someone is not allowed to reference you, then that's a currency of what it is to be in love, what it is to be in a relationship. It's just a part of reality. Like every person in your life becomes a part of your story. So if you don't want other people if you don't want to be in other people's stories, then you need to not spend time with other people because otherwise I'm not quite sure how you're controlling who and what is spoken about you. So
well, yeah, you don't have direct control over the person. So I think the thing is when you look at a relationship, it's between two people. So for us to say, oh, Jada shared too much, I think that doesn't make any sense because we're not in the relationship with Jada. As Will actually said, man, Jada shares too much about our relationship. If he said that, then okay, all right, then you may have a standing. But for you to say she shared too much, I mean, what if Will told her and you should talk about what's happening and he didn't want to be the front man for it? We don't really know, right?
That's true.
It's just us guessing about that.
That's very true.
But I do know that Will does talk about the relationship. It just doesn't get the coverage that Jada gets, though. Like, she definitely...
Oh, yeah, people really come for her.
Yeah, when she says something, it's a big thing.
Really
Will say something and it doesn't
Everyone's
really
like,
make...
okay, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't make the splashes that Jada does. She makes these huge waves when she's saying it versus Will says it and it just kind of people gloss over it. So
exactly.
I think there definitely is a bias towards who's delivering the information. Like that's apparent.
Seems like women are not allowed to talk.
Yeah, men can talk about it. It's like, it's kind of like the man owns a relationship, so he could speak whatever he wants about it.
That's why I said even that line in the Business Insider article of like, he gave someone blessing. Excuse you. Like, blessing for what? Thank you and goodbye.
But it's because if you're married, that's the whole thought process.
No, that is implying ownership, Khalil. It's implying ownership.
But the problem is you're saying that.
No
but
one owns
when you're in a marriage, it's more like you both made the agreement that it's okay. Because it's kind of like, let's say they're married and Will didn't appreciate his wife with somebody else, and it could go both ways. Jay didn't appreciate him with someone else. you don't have you don't have that person come and step in the marriage blessing.
It's just,
right?
I don't know. Because they even talked about it on the table talk, where she was like, the only person who can give consent is myself, and he was like, absolutely.
Well, it's true. No, that's a true statement.
Like, so no, it doesn't matter blessing or not. Like, that's for her and him to create whatever the arrangement is.
But either way, it's something
share their other.
And again, another part to think about. I mean, actually, you got to bring it up because what Will did at the Oscars is kind of like, if he didn't come to Will, what if Will saw him on the streets and said, "Hey, we got a problem"? So that it's kind of like
saw him in the streets.
Yeah, if he's like, you know what happened at the Oscars, you don't want to be the one.
Okay, cool.
Like,
all right.
I'm just saying that's why it makes sense to at least talk with the other person and make sure you know what's going on because you don't want. That's how these conflicts happen.
Sí, señor.
How should the public? Or how public do you think we should be about our relationships?
As a society? Yeah, that's a great question. So when you think about what is your comfortability level, I think there's a couple of factors that come into it that you should consider. First is just general comfort level. Some people are open to sharing private information and some folks are not. And some folks are somewhere in the middle or in the periphery of that. So you need to understand and have clarity for self of understanding what do you feel comfortable sharing about yourself and others, especially those that you're in a relationship with, to the public? And then the nature of your relationship. If you happen to be in a more, how would I say, I guess non-traditional relationship.
Open?
I'm not going to put labels.
Oh, you don't put labels?
I'm not going to put labels.
Wow.
Everyone has to do what they need to do when they need to do it.
So a non-labeled relationship.
They can live however they need to live.
Without a label. That's as humans, business. That's what we do, though.
Yeah,
we box and group things and organize it.
As you say, times are changing. So whatever the nature of that relationship is, dictates also maybe what one could find as salacious or not. And so, because typically there is a pattern that is, at least through stereotypes, that the more non-traditional the relationship, the supposed higher increase for, how would I say this? More non-traditional activities that are engaged in such relationship.
Nice.
And so then that also lends to how comfortable are you sharing more of that timeline of activities or behaviors, ... So nature of your relationship also may dictate how much you want to share. Also depends on the medium or the platform. Is this a share that's happening at coffee, or is this a share that's happening on a Facebook or Instagram Live? These are different, different mediums. So you need to think about, where you're sharing it, how you're sharing it, things like that. And then, of course, impact, right? So what are the consequences of sharing or not sharing information about your personal life or your relationship? You want to think about that as well. If you, for instance, work in a very conservative career or industry, it probably could be problematic if you are maybe sharing more personal information that could lend to people perceiving you differently, treating you differently. It's very unfair, and it's not necessarily the right pathway. It's just a consideration to think about. And then also, what are the long-term considerations? So the more you share about yourself, the more that folks have information about you, which then in turn means that that's information that can be used against you. And not from the perspective of a court of law, but nonetheless, it becomes public record, right? And so it is just something to think about. Do you want to be on record saying you did this, you do not do this, and then that somehow being referred back? You know how like people will be bringing back old tweets from celebrities, things like that, of like, he said this, and I mean that in theory can be done on a personal level. So you don't
want the truth out there.
It depends, right? Like, do you, cause say you said, I'm totally not into X. And then 5 years later, someone's like, so what about this tweet where you said, right? Like,
we say you evolved over time.
I guess so, but it's again.
It was a statement then, and it's not now.
Yeah, you could say that was the then me, this is the now me.
Yeah, I've grown up.
And then again, then there's interpretations of you and interpretations of that situation. So.
And what if you said it was spirit speaking?
Source could have delivered that one. That's, again, can you live with that?
See?
And then there's also just the therapeutic value, which is where I come to things with Jada, why I support her. And, for folks who call her toxic, for folks who call her as foul or wrong, folks, everyone's entitled to
toxic.
folks are, I had a very interesting debate with someone on my social media around where someone, I would argue, the name calling that was done against her was definitely inappropriate and wildly unnecessary, because she's a human being with complex feelings and she's entitled to live her life and do what she wants to do. You may or may not agree with it, but you cannot subject what someone is allowed to do. I know.
And why people, are you calling her names?
I know, and I think it's really sickening. And granted, I am biased because I've always loved Jada Pinkett Smith, but nonetheless, let her live, right?
The key thing is not like, again, it's not like
it's not our relationship.
But it's not even like Will came out and said, "I wish Jada would stop." So it's not even like you're backing up your biggest guy.
Yeah.
He never made anything.
And everyone's acting like she's doing him dirty. And it's like, at what point has he ever said, "I've been done dirty"? Like, now he has said, like, he was away, I think, in the last like weeks or couple of when this whole thing went down. Then he came back to the States where he had like internet access, and he was like, his phone was like, brrr. But at that point, he never said,
"I wish she didn't do this."
Yeah, he was like, "What did she say?" Right? Like, just because there's a shock factor for sure.
But that's not.
But he had never said Jada's not entitled to her, nor could he tell her what she's allowed to come out her mouth. Like,
well, he could say it, just wouldn't mean much. Right?
Yeah, you're welcome to think what you want to think, but it's completely irrelevant. I just feel like
people they're like jumping the gun. Like, wait to like. I mean, all right, even if you love Will Smith, all right, let's see him saying he's against Jada on this. He never stated any of that and showed that. He didn't show animosity with her.
Love and unconditional support of her, which I champion, given that their relationship is complex. So I think that how they treat each other, at least publicly, is really quite beautiful.
Yeah, I think people are being wrong though, like, especially in this case, because usually they jump and they support their celebrity of choice, and I get that, but you can't support someone who's never made a stance on it like that.
He has never said he's been done wrong by her, so I don't know where people are coming with that. Yeah,
people are like losing their minds. They're like, I'm in this relationship and she's so wrong. She's toxic to me.
I know. I'm like, who are you calling? Wait a minute. What are you saying?
Like, what? You with Jada? I mean, what's going on there?
Don't make no sense.
I mean, you have no standing at all. Makes no sense. But I think, to me, it's just good to share the type of relationship you have. I know you don't like the labels, but I think it's nice because people have, like, there's other people in relationships too, and they kind of like don't know what's going on. So the more that we learn about others, the more we can learn about ourselves. So I think it's actually helpful just to get a scene of it, of an actual relationship. Even though I know this is the Hollywood type, it's a little bit different. Definitely. There's still things you can learn from it, I think. And you can see it, like, how did they make it work to that, like, for so long, or make it still work, and how it's evolved over time. I think that's interesting to see. Now, I don't think you have to name names about everybody involved in the relationship. Like, you don't have to get all into that. That's up to you. You can if you want to, but I know if you're a celebrity couple, that just comes up because guess what? There's paparazzis that's going to see you with this person anyway. True. They're going to say, how come you guys keep going to the hotel on Friday nights?
All right.
No, but I'm just saying that you can get caught out there. So to not name names if you're a celebrity, you're taking a risk because they're going to ask you what's going on.
Again, you have to have... So it's so funny. Like, for instance, risky. I would argue that we present as a very more public couple because of all the media things that we do and what we talk about on our platform here in the podcast, and then all the additional content we put out. But there's also, like, so much of our life that is super private that most people are not privy to. There's very few people who actually know what's really all the things that are happening in our household.
We're not A-list celebrities, right? So we don't have paparazzi
outside
of our bush. You have the paparazzi. Yeah, that's where they hide. They hide a magic bush appears or a cardboard box. You're like, what's in that box? It's actually a paparazzi.
You're a hot mess. Don't say box.
They cut out a little circle to point the camera through.
I can't.
And they have those really long telescope cameras.
Get away from me.
No, you're the A-list celebrity. They got the telescopic cameras.
I'm the A-list celebrity.
You told me that. You just told me. You said I said we're not A-list celebrities.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
So you're the A-list.
Yeah, don't put labels on me.
And you see they got those big cameras.
I know.
The long zoom
number
lens.
one with a bullet. So
if you say so, I mean,
absolutely.
It's not about number one.
That's a shame that you don't say that, but that's
I know what list I'm on. So if you know what list you're on, I guess
I'm on too.
We all got our thoughts. We all got our thoughts about
it. Absolutely.
So, but that's what I'm saying. The paparazzis catch you either way if you're an A-list.
Yes,
and then
exactly.
Even other people that are a little bit lower.
A part of that, I know the celebrities really struggle with that, but, it's a part of that arena, right? If you don't want that part of it, then you don't want the other part of it, which is the fame and the Oscars and the shows and the red carpets and all that.
The money?
I know, I thought you said D. I was like, whoa.
The D that comes with it?
I know, the D.
That'd be different.
Different, yeah. So, based on her revelation that she shared, which is in conjunction with her new memoir titled Worthy, does that make you more inclined to want to read her book?
Yeah, I think I'll definitely read it because it begins with W, just like her husband's book will. So
You're
I
a
think
hot mess.
just because of that, I have to read it. It's like
W&W.
Oh, because look, Will Worthy. It makes sense. That's the name of Will's
Was he
book.
worthy of her? Ooh.
Worthy Will. You can just say the books together in either direction. See, I think it's been purposeful. I don't know. But that's why I'm going to definitely read it. I'm most likely going to do the audiobook. Hopefully I'm hoping that she narrates it though.
I hope so. I love Jada's voice.
Because I like that. Well, I know you I like when the person, if it's an autobiography, I like when they actually narrate the book. I only
like it as long as they don't
like the voice.
Speak this slow.
I know, you're funny. You can change that speed.
But then it goes like this and you have to, it's like, speak at a normal pace. You wish that their normal pace was just a good pace. Just speak like it's a New York minute. Thank you and goodbye.
See, that's wrong. Because what if you listening to
So my autobiography, people will love it because they'll hear how fast I speak and they'll just be like, ooh, let's get it, girl. Get it.
But that's not fair because from the Texas, if they're going to speak slower and draw it out.
You and your labels today.
All right.
I'm just saying that I'm born and raised in New York, so I'm personally biased to having information shared in a New York minute. I enjoy it. I like it like that. Give it to me like that. Keep moving. Let's go.
I mean, yeah, you say that, but it just doesn't seem fair because people should be able to speak in their own way.
The same way you can speed it up, you can also slow it down.
Oh, so they can slow it down?
Yes.
Then. They can.
Then they can hear us talk.
Oh, you mean, technically you can slow it down.
I don't know. It's just hard. It's just for me, if I hear someone speaking like this, it just, when I'm listening to the book, it just makes me want to sleep. That's all. So I'm just trying to stay cognizant.
Yeah, just rewind and go back.
For like a 500, because these memoirs are 500, 600 page books. Like, so I'm like, I have to get through this. Like, come on. It's too much. But to answer the question, I too want to read the book. I believe it'll be an eye opener, but for a different reason than you. I have always been fascinated by Jada, just generally in her career and the journey she's taken, especially all the shares that she had on the Red Table Talk, but also her loving friendship with Tupac Shakur, to me has always been fascinating, and I'm really interested in hearing from her on her perspective around that love and the love that she shared with him, because again, publicly, it has seemed like I don't want to say we're soulmates, but definitely souls were meant to meet, and they were meant to have that love that they shared. And I'm just curious to know more about that.
Yeah, I mean,
I love what she and Will shared, but there's something to be had and something to be said about when you have these kind of like soul engagements, and it's just like, ooh, like my soul was meant to meet you. Like, ooh, give it to me. I love it.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I guess you'll find out if
jelly.
No, I mean, because they were friends, so I don't know.
They were friends, but they also were deeply just in love with each other, too.
Maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Was Pac in love with her? I can't say. We just saw go to public, right?
Sex. I think she claimed they didn't have chemistry with each other, but they definitely had a deep love with each other.
But did it go both ways is my answer.
Ooh,
my question. Trifling. No, because Jada has expressed that, but did Pac really? I don't know.
I think he definitely loved her.
I can't say.
I think he definitely loved her. I don't know. Yeah, did he want to settle down and have a family with her? That, who knows? But I think he loved her.
Did he even, he really cared what was the happenings
when he
in her
looked
life?
At her, you could see, he
But did he care about what was happening in her life and how she's being taken care of?
They had a deep love. They had a deep love.
You said that. See, again, people are up in these relationships that they're not even a part of. It's just making an assumption.
Love, you're so mean. You're so mean.
It's too funny. I mean, these are actual people. Now, you can say that about,
Twilight characters.
The Notebook, but that makes sense, right? You can say deeply love.
Epic love story.
All that stuff is, it's fantasy. You can do that.
How he looked at her,
but in real life, did he? I don't know. He's never.
He loved her.
Because, I don't know. But did he ever even make a song about her?
He proposed to her. He loved her.
But no, did he make a song about her? That's because look how many songs August made about Jada.
How dare I speak on their relationship? But am I also somehow attached to his records? I don't know what his arsenal of music.
No, you don't have to. But I'm just saying. Look, I would argue that August loved Jada more than Pac.
I think they shared more than Entanglement. I think they definitely shared a soul connection there. Yeah.
But I'm saying August. I think he was deeply bonded to her, especially because he's going through a disease, and she was there for it by his side.
I'm so tired of you. Get away.
It was stated in that timeline, the liver disease. It was. I didn't know about it, but it was.
Yep.
I'm just saying. I don't know if Tupac's love was bigger than August. Hater. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Hater.
I don't know. I can't say for sure.
I know you're a hater.
You can watch in the book, or maybe we'll never know.
As you listen and I read, we'll see.
Hopefully, I can speak to the hologram of Tupac, and that'll tell me, right?
Exactly.
That'll let me know the real.
Or the AI version of him.
Yes.
The joys that life delivers.
That'll do it. Definitely. Here we go. You know what you're ready for. It's the scenario. It is scenario time. Scenario 1. Deanna admitted to her best friend 5 years ago that she is in an open relationship with her husband. For the past 2 years, she has worked on an autobiography and is wondering if she should now admit to her friend that she has actually been separated from her husband for the past 10 years before she releases her book. Should she tell her best friend or just let her read about it in the book?
Well, clearly, if her best friend doesn't know this, then they're not really best friends, and she should read it in the book like everybody else. Because she is definitely not in that inner circle. I don't know.
You have to be in the inner circle to know.
Yeah. I mean, if you're saying your best friend doesn't know you're separated from your... What kind of friendship is this?
That's wrong, because it's just the one thing that you're keeping from her. Everything else is open.
It begs the question, is that the one thing? That's all I'm saying.
I don't know for sure.
To me, it just seems like that's a huge thing to keep
it is
close to the chest.
Yeah, it's huge.
And I understand why you would keep it close to the chest, because especially when you have a long tenure with someone, it is really hard to go out to the world and be like, sorry, this 25-year relationship has come to an end, right? Like, that's really hard to just come out and blurt that out. So, sometimes you just keep that for yourself and you say, and you keep it moving. So based on that, the fact that she didn't think that for the last 10 years she needed to know, I don't see why anything has changed between the here and the now. So read it in the book.
Wow. All right, so read in the book.
She may risk the friendship, but it is what it is. She could risk the friendship either way by having this. What are you going to do? This over cocktails, over tacos? Get out of here.
Taco Tuesday, you can do
Facts, yeah. This is like a lose-lose proposition. If she reads it in the book, she's going to get mad at her. And if she hasn't, even with the best margarita, she's still going to get mad at her. So it's a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, I mean... I think she should tell her before, just because people don't like being, as they would call it, blindsided. Because she said, wow, I mean, you hid it from me and you still rather tell the public before even speaking to me about it. I don't know. I feel it could jeopardize the relationship more if you wait. So in this case, I would suggest...
Oh, okay. So have the really hard taco Tuesday.
Just get it out before, because then you can deal with it before this book releases, and then maybe she won't bash the book publicly or something, because she could just review bomb it. But just be careful. So instead,
she'll just leave the book club on it.
So you can do that. So that's
welcome our special guest.
Exactly. Yeah. See, because you informed her ahead of time.
Goodness gracious!
It's good to know.
Yep.
Scenario 2: Bhumibol has been in a relationship where nothing was shared publicly with the world. He prided the relationship on secrecy. One day, while perusing social media, he noticed a post about an intimate encounter he had.
Excuse you? Wait a minute, what?
Wait for it. Only 2 people know about the encounter.
I bet.
Should he confront both of them and find out why they posted this without his approval?
Only 2 people know about it? Is that asking the people involved in the encounter? So are you really saying there's 4 people that's involved in this situation?
Well, no, I mean, technically, of course he knows it because it's imminent, and then there's 2 other people, the one involved in the encounter, and then somebody he told.
Who was documenting it?
No, his confidant? The person he's in a relationship with.
Oh, okay. And somehow it's made its way onto social media.
Yeah, and now it's been posted about.
What was the image?
Hey, that's for you to. Leave it to your imagination.
For your imagination.
Yeah,
there's too many things going in my mind right now. So let's answer this.
It may have been a picture of a flower with a revealing caption. It could have just been that.
And that speaks to his intimate encounter.
Yeah, it could.
Exactly.
Yeah, because people can have classic.
And they just tagged him in it, right? And they just said fire, tongue out.
He wasn't tagged in it, I don't think, because that'd be real extreme. But either way, it was clear that he had an encounter with somebody that was not in the relationship that he was keeping secret.
I don't know. I don't do lying very well, and I'm fine with confrontation, but this situation just seems a bit too out of the park out of my wheelhouse. So I mean, is there a risk? I guess confronting both people, or because are both people that know about this, do they know about this, but would they be mad if he confronted? I'm not sure what the conflict is. Like, is it?
Well, the conflict is that, so the first person who's involved in a relationship should be, that had this intimate encounter would be like, hey, why would you even think that I did that? I know how your relationship is and you don't want it to be blown up, so I would never do that to you. And then the person that is actually in the relationship with him that's public, confronting that person would be like, oh, how could you think I would do that? I mean, I know what our relationship is about and I know you did your thing and we talked about that. I would never bring that up. So it could just be a thing where it'll make either person's gonna, like, if you get the wrong one, it's kind of, you're gonna offend somebody possibly if you choose the wrong one who did it.
Okay, so I mean, based on his passion for secrecy, then I would probably just hire a private investigator, a PI, and have that person figure out technologically who actually put the post out there, and then that way you can avoid the wrong confrontation. It seems like is the direction I would go if the person has the finances to be able to afford such an action or opportunity.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. You should just go.
PI, because there is a digital footprint, right? That could be technically
discovered ways to figure out. Yeah, there's ways to go about it.
Because the problem is, like you're saying, you could ask people and they will lie right in your face. And how I have never, right? And it's like they did it 5 minutes before you came up to them. So there is
they could just lie.
Some folks are a bit so there's just different types of behaviors that occur in the world. So
they're just pathological.
We have to avoid labels.
Oh, no labels. No labels on the truth.
There's behavioral actions that take place. There's transactions that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not sure what kind of transaction
I don't know what kind of transaction
previously.
this is. So let's just use the professionals to discover.
Okay. Yeah, so I like that idea of the PI. I would say do that first. What I was going to think of is if you couldn't do that, is you try to go about it figuring it out yourself instead of just blaming both of them and they both get mad and then you actually don't know who did it. So trying to get closer to who was most likely to do this and have some evidence before confronting them. Have your receipts ready.
Exactly.
Instead of just coming up to them with nothing. Document. Maybe create a 2-page report on what you found. And
put that, John, on Canva, really do a whole presentation.
Then you can have a presentation as well.
Phenomenal.
And say, from this exhibit.
You know what? Have you ever seen, it's really messed up, so I shouldn't be this happy to talk about it, but it really cracks me up. I don't know why it does. So have you ever seen on Facebook where a man has, say, his partner, his wife or something, blindfolded and she's holding these really big white cards and he's having her open the cards and she doesn't know what's on the words and he's like, this is my wife and she just slept with my brother. She slept with my best friend. And she doesn't realize that I know the baby is not mine. And then she just keeps going in the car. I don't know why I think it's so funny.
And then they look at it and they start crying. Right?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, and she doesn't realize he had the receipt, and it's like,
smart.
Thank you and goodbye.
Those things are cool. I wonder if they're even real. I question those.
I do wonder because they seem
doesn't make
really
any sense.
Wild to me, but they crack me up.
Because you got to wonder. You talking to your partner all right, so why am I blindfolded and writing these cards? Is this what's the purpose
hard pass.
of this?
I'm not doing this. I'm not entertaining. Whatever
we don't usually do this.
Yeah, I don't know what this life is,
this?
but I'm not participating.
I can't believe those things.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can do that real.
It's why am I surprising the world and I can't be surprised? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That's strange. So,
it is very odd.
I don't know if you can convince somebody to do that, but if you could, then maybe go for it.
I mean,
very strange.
It's a great social media stunt, though.
Oh yeah, it's good for that if that's what you were going for. But I remember this guy. He's about secrecy of his relationship.
So he would never.
He probably would not want to show that he knows who did this, and he doesn't want to bring more attention to that. Yeah. He's gonna kind of gloss over it. Mm-hmm. Scenario 3. Suwadi is a successful entrepreneur who spills new tea on a relationship at least once a year.
New what?
New tea.
Okay. Just clarification.
You can't do that. No clarifying easy things.
Okay. What was this?
So she spills new tea on her relationship at least once a year.
Oh, okay.
She usually drops the info at her events where is either winning an award or talking to young business-minded folk.
Fascinating.
Do you think Suwadi is creating a relationship quagmire?
It seems like this is some type of gimmick that's happening. And so is this happening like on a live stream or something? Like, because you're saying this is information that's being shared in events. I mean, it's like the most public forum you could have. It's like every year you go to the Oscars and something like new is revealed about you. I mean,
like that.
I mean, it's like the wolf who cried, the boy who cried wolf every year. I mean, that's just too much.
But it's actual information. You're not like lying about what happened.
Okay, interesting. Well, you know, I think that's one approach to life, I guess. And for my perspective, is it creating a relationship quagmire? To answer the question, it would depend on what the information is. So if it is salacious in nature, if it is too intimate in nature, if it is something that is shocking, I don't know how many years this has been happening, so at some point someone's just going to be like, go ahead. But
you're going to get tired of it?
Yeah, you're going to get tired of it. But if it's like very, you know, jazzy and keeping you up, then, you know, maybe that's the news. That's the BuzzFeed for the day, right? So I would say it's just, to answer the question though, it depends on what the information share is.
I mean, to me, this seems obvious. I think it's creating a weird kind of relationship because it's like you don't know. I mean, maybe you guys discussed it, but either way, you don't want to label it, but I'm labeling it. This is a weird relationship where at all these events, this is when you talk about like some deep secrets that are going on in the relationship. To me, that makes the relationship seem weird. I mean, I don't know if it's even
that's
real.
A label. Like, yeah, I mean, everyone's entitled to make their judgment
it's
call.
It's a label. I'm not in the relationship. I don't know, but that just seems weird to me that you're doing it so consistently.
Yeah.
And it said at least once a year, so it might be multiple times a year things come out, and it's just okay.
I mean, it just seems like this is a very dynamic relationship, right? Like, there's things happening, and, you know, it's like, oh, okay, this is Tuesday. We'll see what's happening here.
Yeah, you just get multiple updates.
Yeah, we're just, okay, this is a little different. This is different.
Because it's almost like if you were on the social media feed of a soap opera or something, and you're getting updates about Todd and Jake. And they tell you stuff like that. I don't know. That just seems strange to me.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the relationship has something interesting going on here, especially because she's dropping this information so consistently.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It makes me question the whole relationship there, but that's just me. You know, I don't know. I can't say for sure.
Gotcha. Well, with that, there was so much shared, and some may even say too much shared. But that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, definitely.
And we welcome you to come on and share your thoughts and share what you liked, what you didn't like, and how you felt about this episode. And what is it? We are coming to the end of the 322nd episode of Woke.
Not expecting that.
And free. Okay, Khalil. Well, that was partially free. Again, we entitled this episode, wait for it, Entanglement, Enigma, Unraveling Jada's Relationship Quagmire.
Nice.
I mean, it really, take a moment to really take that in there. What do folks need to do now, Khalil?
What they need to do is come back next week for the new WokeNFree Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
Beautiful. And if folks are interested in submitting a topic or a fancy episode title, feel free to hit us up on our contact us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokeNFree.com. And for social, again, we'd love to hear from you and have you join our conversations on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And all sponsorship and collaboration queries, best place to reach us is our contact us page at WokeNFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokeNFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokeNFree is more than a podcast. It is a way of life. Until next time.